Now when we learn basic of Blender, we can start creating our scene. So I will open Blender, and first thing I will do here, I will save this file. So I will go with File, Save, and you can choose folder on your computer where you want to save your file. I will save this here and I will call this cabin tutorial. Next I will delete this cube so we can create a new one with Shift A and cube, or you can go to Add, Mesh and Cube. And this cube will be base of our cabin. So I will press N and I will type dimensions here: 8 meters on x-axis, 6 meters on y-axis and 2.7 meters on z-axis. Now I will press numpad 1 to go to front orthographic view, and I will bring this at the beginning of this x-axis. So we can just grab this and move here, or if you want to be precise, we can just type here half of this value because the origin of this object is in the middle. So I will type here 1.35 and I will go with Shift A and I will go with plane and scale. Press S to scale this, and this will be our ground. Every time we change scale in object mode, we need back scale to 1 because we can have problem later with modifier and textures. So to do this, we need go with Ctrl A and apply scale, and you can see that scale is now 1 and all modifier and textures and unwrap will work correctly later. So I will do same with this object here. So I will go for now with object, apply scale. But if we do changes in edit mode, for example if we move this up, we don't need apply scale because scale is already 1. So I will go with Ctrl Z to undo this step. I will now select camera and I will set here 90 degrees on x-axis and 0 on z-axis to line up camera, and we can here separate these windows. So just click here and hold your mouse and move this on right. And now we can press N to remove this tab here, and we can press also numpad 0 to go to camera view, or we can go to with view, camera and active camera. Now I will position this camera in the middle of this object here, so I will go with numpad 7 and we can move this in the middle of this object here. And we can bring this down on the axis also, but you can also grab this with left mouse and move this down. And I will go with about 1.2 value here. Now we can set a resolution, and for now I will go with this Instagram or mobile resolution, but later we can try something more cinematic and more wide resolution. So I will go with to output properties tab and I will set here 1500 by 1500. And if you now press F12 for first render, we get this, and very fast you can see only 37 milliseconds. And the reason for this is because we are now in Eevee render mode, which is less realistic but much faster. So I will now switch to cycles here. Now I can change here slot so we can later compare this result. So I will go to slot 2 and I will press again F12. And you can see that This will take about 11 minutes in cycles. This is so slow because we have too much samples here. And samples determine how clean our image will be, and this value is too big. So I will bring for now this about 30 samples and also in viewport display to 30. And later when we are happy with our scene we can bring this to maybe 200 or 300, but for now I will keep this to 30 and we can make another test now. And you can see that this take about 10 seconds. But we can speed up this a lot because this is very simple scene for now. So I will go with slot 3 and I will set here to GPU. And if you have this optics denoiser, you can set this to optics, and I will bring this noise threshold to 0.2. So we can now make another test, and you can see that this now takes only 1 second and before was take 10 seconds. So we speed this scene a lot with just 2 settings. So this depends on your system. If you have GPU, always go with GPU and always go with optics denoiser. Low samples value when you make test renders, and later when you are done and happy with your result you can increase this for final render. And also resolution is important for render speed. So if you bring this to 200, this value will be double, 3000 by 3000, and if we make another render we can see last time is 1 second. Now this will be this will be 8 seconds now, but we have double resolution. And if we go with this value to 50, so 750 by 750, if we make another render we can see that this take only 77 milliseconds. But I will back this to 100, so this resolution here. Before we start modeling cabin, my recommendation is to search for some reference images, and I search on Pinterest and I find some reference images here, and I will share these links with you so you can download the same reference images that I download. And you can, for example, just open this link and right click and copy image address, and you can just right click and save this image on your desktop. You can do same with all these images here. We can import these images in Blender, but my recommendation is to download this simple program called PureRef. So you can go to Google and search for PureRef, and you can download and install this program for free. This is a very simple program. You can move this with right click, and you just need import your reference images here. So you can just select all these images, and you can just bring these images here. Okay, and now when we back to Blender, we can always click on this program and we can easily scale this if we want more space, and you can zoom easy to our reference images. So with right click we can move this where we want. We can change dimensions of this, And we can always work in Blender, and we can just click here and zoom to details we want. In next part we can start working on cabin details.